Hi everyone, welcome to Desi Qanoon's webinar on alternate careers after law. My name is Anant Gupta. I am a graduate from National Law University, Odisha. I graduated in 2016. I can see that people are joining, so welcome everyone to the webinar. So I'll be taking a couple of questions of law students who are curious about things to do after law school which are not exactly related to joining a law firm or litigating in courts. So if you feel like you have a question, please put your question in the comment section, but do make sure that your question is related to things which are there after law school but are not exactly related to law firms and to litigation, right? Before I start, let me just give a very brief introduction about myself. I graduated in 2016 from NLU Odisha, and I joined the banking and finance team of Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas in 2016 itself. I worked there for 2 years. I left in 2018, and when I left my job, first of all, it was not an easy decision to leave a high-paying job, a highly secure job. I come from a middle-class family, so of course I had my financial concerns, as well as my parents were a little concerned if I would be able to make a career after leaving Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas and getting the same or nearly the same pay. So I exited Amarchand Mangaldas in 2018, and I was working on two ventures after that. One of them was a trekking startup, which is called Infinite Detours. From 2018 to 2020 till this year, we completed about 30 treks in India, Bhutan. In India, we usually used to cover the Himalayan region in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and also a bit of Maharashtra. So that's a small passion project of mine, and I love to do trekking. That's why that project was there. Alongside, I was working on my startup, which a friend and I started in 2014 when we were in our third year of law school. So, like, an interesting story behind that startup was that when we were in our third year, we used to help our friends format and edit and draft their memorials, and around that time our college NLU Odisha was winning a lot of best memorial awards. Even today I heard I think they won the best respondent memo in NLS IEM arbitration moot. So around that time, Rachnendra and I, my co-founder, and I we were helping a lot of teams format and draft memorials, but it used to get a little tiring for us to format 10-15 memorials in a year. So that's why what we thought was, why not hold a workshop where we can teach the students of our college how to apply the same tricks which we are applying to format and draft the memorials. So with a very small expectation of 20 to 30 registrations, we started a workshop. We opened the registrations for the workshop, but within, I think, 12 hours we got about 120 registrations from our juniors, from our batchmates, from our seniors who wanted to learn the art of making a memorial. So in 2014, that was the time when we realized that there is a need amongst law students, because this is something which is not taught in law schools. This is something which we generally get to know because of our seniors or with the help of the internet. But even in our Google searches, even through our seniors, we don't get a very systematic set of instructions or knowledge which we can apply. So that's why we thought, let's open something which can benefit law students as a whole. So yeah, from in 2018 when I left Amarchand Mangaldas, I also started working on Memo Pandits, which is my mooting law school. So since then till now, we have taught about 3,500 law students in India across 150 plus law schools. It's going good. The lockdown period has actually, has woken up a lot of law students because they want to do online courses. They want to enhance their skills. So yeah, that's a little about my startups. So a lot of times I get a question which is, I think, in the minds of a lot of people who have joined us today, that why did I not continue law as a career even when I was in a tier 1 law firm. So one of the reasons why is because even though the money was good, the financial incentives were great, but I never felt like a part of an organization where I could just keep on working on corporate matters, making documents, drafting some contracts. I couldn't see myself doing that for the next 20-30 years. So all in all, I thought this may not be a sustainable plan, and that's why I need to start doing something else. I need to do something different than what the rest of my peers are doing. So that is in fact why I left a perfectly balanced career in law, and then I joined, and then I continued with my startups. So I actually had, before Memo Pandits, I had a couple of startups in my high school, during my college. So I think, and it's not like all of them have succeeded greatly. Only a couple of them reached like a level with which I was, satisfied. So anybody right now who's joined this live session, if you think that, of course, if you don't want to go in the law career per se, it's going to be difficult, but you need to find the entrepreneur in you. Like, is there some business guy inside you who can do something else, like do something other than a law firm job or a litigation job? Okay, so now I'll take a couple of questions which we got before holding the live session. One of the questions was, what should one read if they want to make a career change? So it's a very simple and a very reasonable question. When we're lawyers, like if you want to excel in law, what do you read? You read Live Law, you read Bar and Bench, Legally India, basically industry specific websites or industry specific readings are what you're supposed to do. So of course, if you want to make a change in your career, you've got to start reading the best material out there for that industry. For example, I wanted to shift to a management side, which is basically a business administration side. So I started reading Harvard Business Review. Like, I subscribed it on their website. I put my ID there, and they send a newsletter, I think it's a weekly newsletter. I go through the articles. It's very enlightening. Similarly, whatever industry you want to join, just find out the best players of that industry and start reading, start subscribing there. For example, for my trekking startup, I used to read websites like Tripoto. There's a website called Tripoto. Then this website called Condé Nast Traveler, Outlook Traveler. So you got to find good portals where you can find good information for that particular industry. Okay, next question is very interesting. I love this question. What is the worst case scenario if you want to switch careers, and if that career is not in law? There are three main aspects which you should be worried about, and which everybody is worried about when they even think about leaving law. One is, of course, financial incentives. The law industry is a blessed industry, especially people who are working in law firms. It's a very, very good situation out there. Even during the lockdown, you can see that law firms are thriving much more than any other company or any other industry, of course, apart from healthcare. So if you see engineers right now, if you see sales staff right now, if you see people from manufacturing side right now. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is that law firms offer a lot in terms of finance. So that has to be your first concern. That if you leave a job in a law firm, from a law firm, then you're saying goodbye to a lot of money. So that's of course the first aspect. The second aspect is, I think, what do you want to feel personally? Do you want to, if you're not feeling like you belong to that place, belong to this industry, do you want to keep feeling that? Do you want to have this feeling for the rest of your life? Or do you want, or would you be more satisfied if you shift to, let's say, an industry? For example, if you want to pursue music, so if tomorrow you change the industry, would you feel better? Would you feel better personally? So that's the second aspect. The third aspect is, and this is like, if you love it, hate it, but you can't deny it, the parental aspect. What would your parents feel? A lot, like I would say, like 95% of us would feel like this is a very important concern. If you want to leave your current job, if you want to leave the current industry, if you're a law student who does not feel that law is the correct career option, I think one of the biggest concerns would be, what would your parents say? Your parents are shelling out 5 to 10 lakh rupees for your college fee. So of course, their say also matters in your life decisions. So I think, yeah, these three are the main aspects. For people who've joined us just right now, I'll just recap. The first aspect is financial aspect. Second is your personal, what do you want to feel inside you? Do you want to be satisfied with the industry you're in? And the third is, of course, your parental aspect. And all these three concerns were also very relevant when I was leaving my job from a law firm. But you have to balance it out. Like, you have to see if the opportunity cost at the other side is better than the opportunity cost here. What I'm trying to say is, if I did not leave the law firm job which I was doing, and if I was doing that job right now, I would have been very, very sad in life, I think. And I'm not trying to demean or disrespect any kind of job. I absolutely have the highest respect for every person who is doing any kind of job. But what I'm trying to say is that industry was not meant for me. I was not meant to be working in a law firm. That's why, like, the heaviest concern to me was the personal satisfaction concern. Luckily, my parents weren't totally against it. I wouldn't say that, they did not have the most reasonable and obvious concerns of any middle class family, which is like, itni badi job chhod rahe ho, kuch socha hai aage ke liye ki nahi, right? So yeah, I'm going to be taking the questions which I can see in the comments. I'll just take it, right? So luckily, my parents were supporting me on the side. Personally, I used to feel like I couldn't be satisfied if I did not change my industry. And financially, so yeah, the financial aspect is also important. And I want to say that by my first year at Amarchand Mangaldas, I realized that I need to change my job. So in the last 1 year, like the last 10 or 12 months when I was there, I started saving. And I started saving with the intention of using that money for my startups when I leave that job. So if you have a financial concern with you, and if you want to leave like the law industry or do something else in law, you have to have a good amount of savings to be secure in the future. I'm not saying that if you don't have it, don't have savings, then you would definitely not survive, but it's going to be difficult, right? Okay. I could see a question here. I am a first year law student. Please, can you guide me to do an internship at a top law firm? Please say I do not have any law background. Okay. Alright. So, मेरा कोई law background नहीं था. I'm a first generation lawyer. मेरे पास कोई जुगाड़ नहीं था. मेरे पापा कोई जुगाड़ लगाना नहीं चाहते थे अपनी ज़िंदगी में मेरे लिए. To get me an internship or a job. So I can totally feel with Chirag how he's feeling right now. First year mein, the college in which I was studying, NLU Odisha, all my internship applications through my first year were rejected, like mostly. So all I could do was just keep trying. Like I used to follow up with the HR executive every Wednesday or every Friday, and I think somehow that played a major role in getting an internship at Amarchand Mangaldas. And that was in my third year end. I applied and I got an internship in my fourth year. So yeah, so it's like my answer to you would be just keep trying, just keep calling the HR, but don't be disrespectful or don't be irritating to the HR when you try to do that. Okay, so Chirag is saying I ain't in NLU, bro. Okay, bro, so the thing is, I'm not saying that it has to be like your application definitely has to go out from an NLU. What I was trying to say was, when I was in NLU Odisha, I think that was our batch was the third batch. So that at that time, NLU Odisha did not have that good like a standing, like, you know, which NLU Delhi has, which NLU Delhi had at the same time. But even then, all we could do was try. Like, we used to call HRs, we used to email them, we used to message them. So just try doing that. And agar wo bhi na ho paya, if you can, like if you have some contact, don't shy away from using those contacts, because हो सकता है तुम्हारे दोस्त लोग बोले कि अरे इसका तो जुगाड़ से हुआ है, इसका ऐसे हुआ है. If you have quality, if you would be willing to do justice to that internship through a contact, then go for it. मतलब कल को you never know, you might be able to convert it into a PPO with your own merit, right? So if you need a push through a contact or something like that, just go for it. Don't shy away from it. Okay, I can see a question. Can I pursue career in public policy after 3-year LLB degree? Okay, so I may not be the best person to answer this, so I would respectfully skip this question. Another question which we had received before the live session was, this is a very good question, by the way, is there an aptitude test which one can take to determine what talents you have, what skills you have? So yes, there is a test which costs you about $10. This test is called the Gallup test, and it basically tells you your weak areas, your strength areas, and all of this is done through a questionnaire which you have to fill for, I think it takes about 30 to 40 minutes. You fill that questionnaire, and at the end you will see what is your strongest point and what are your weak areas, right? So if you want to decide on which industry to take on to, you can use those strengths and weaknesses to determine what you would be good at. Okay, so Chirag, any resume tips for first internship? So I'm guessing that if you want to try out the first internship, then most of the students would be in their first years. The biggest CV or resume related tip which I can give you is, please keep it neat. Don't extend it to 3 pages. Please don't extend it to 3 pages. I was recently filling out a scholarship application for a B school, like a business school in USA. All they require is a 1-page CV, right? So if they require a 1-page CV, trust me, a 3-page CV for a first year student to a law firm would never be helpful. So just keep it neat and don't make it too long. Okay, so we have another question. How do you calculate the right amount of money required to leave the job and start the business? There is no formula, unfortunately. If you have 1 crore or if you have 10 lakhs, both may work unexpectedly. Like if you have 1 crore, it might turn out to be really bad. If you have 10 lakhs, it might turn out to be really good. It really depends on how you would want to live the rest of your struggling life. आपकी lifestyle क्या होनी चाहिए? So for example, I remember in Amarchand Mangaldas, one of the most empowering feeling I used to get was, because of the financial incentives, I used to be like, I can order anything from Amazon, I can travel to anywhere, I can live in fancy hotels, I can go to fancy restaurants, right? So I think about 6-7 months before I was leaving the job, I made myself comfortable with the fact that for the coming few years I'll have to cut down on my unnecessary expenses. And these are your unnecessary expenses, like luxuries without which you can live your life. So by the end of my 2-year career at Amarchand, I had saved about 10 lakh rupees. So that was enough for me to invest in both of my startups, one of which was a trekking startup and the other one is Memo Pundits. Fortunately, because like all our promotions and everything was through social media. Social media is free, so you don't need investment in that respect. But of course, if you have a good amount of money saved in your pockets, life is going to be easy. People say that money is not everything, but it can buy you a lot of comfort. It can save you from a lot of hassle. So the more you have, it's going to be better for you if you want to change your career at least. Sir, can you please elaborate your experience about working at one of the top law firms of India, Sharda Amarchand Mangal Das? Okay, so the experience for like my personal experience was I wasn't feeling like I was part of that place. I had an amazing senior from NLS Bangalore. His name was Suswagata. He used to help me out a lot, and we had like our team used to work really well with each other. But unfortunately, that the whole law as a career thing was not working out for me. I did not feel like when I used to wake up, मुझे थोड़ा बहुत ऐसा फ्रस्ट्रेशन होता था कि यार आज इतनी सारी चीज़ें करनी है, आज ये वाले डॉक्यूमेंट्स ड्राफ्ट करने हैं, आज ये रिसर्च करनी है. So that's when I realized that this is not something which an ideal legal associate of a firm should be feeling. Like I should be looking forward to things like these, but I wasn't. So I definitely felt out of place. So that's why I left the job. Okay, so just a second. Yeah, can you repeat the name of the aptitude test you just mentioned? Yeah, it's Gallup. Let me just look just a second. I'll tell you the exact spelling also. Yeah, GALLUP. It's called the Gallup Strengths Test. So you can take that to understand your strengths and weaknesses. How can you get a job in top IP firm if you are a non-NLU? Okay. A good IP firm would it doesn't always need to be looking for someone from an NLU. Trust me, because I am from an NLU. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आप NLU के होते हो तो आपको बहुत ज़्यादा discriminatory advantages मिलते हैं. थोड़ा बहुत होता होगा, but beyond that, what matters is your skill. So the way you intern, the way you interact with your seniors, how efficient you are, how professional you are, how punctual you are, आपके documents जो आप submit कर रहे हो अपने senior को, वो किस तरीके से आपने ड्राफ्ट कर रखे हैं, किस तरीके से फॉर्मेट कर रखे हैं. ऑल ऑफ दीज स्मॉल थिंग्स मैटर अलॉट. अगर आप जो अपना डॉक्यूमेंट जो आपको सबमिट करना है वो अगर आपने ईमेल में भेजा है और आपके ईमेल में कोई सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, कोई बॉडी में कुछ नहीं लिखा हुआ है, जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि आपका जो सीनियर है वो आपको एज अ रिक्रूटमेंट मटेरियल नहीं सोचेगा. वो तभी सोच पाएगा जब आपको थोड़े बहुत प्रोफेशनल टैक्टिक्स पता हो. So when we talk about professional tactics, it's nothing like you can. There's no course on professional ethics or professionalism as such. This is something which you pick from inspiration. You see people around you, you see professionals working around you, and then you make observations, and then that's how you proceed. Okay. How can we organize our CV in the very first year for any internship, especially when there is nothing but some debate experience and that too in Hindi? Very good question, but Parul, tell me one thing. अगर मैं एक employer हूँ, if I'm looking at your CV and I know that you're in the first year, what would I be expecting? I wouldn't be expecting a lot of moots, or I wouldn't be expecting credit courses in IPR or anything like that, or I wouldn't be expecting you to do a lot of debates. So from an employer's perspective, पहली बात तो ये समझो कि it's not important to have a lot of things, a lot of different things in your first year in your CV. My first year CV, which got me through an internship at this organization called Pilsark, which is managed by senior advocate Rajiv Dhawan, was a one pager CV जिसमें मैंने अपने स्कूल के ऑफ कोर्स मार्क्स लिख रखे थे, करंट जो मेरा CGPA चल रहा था वो लिख रखा था, और जो एक चीज लिख रखी थी मेरे स्कूल में मैंने कितने कॉम्पिटिशन्स में पार्ट लिया, और वो भी एक भी डिबेट कंपटीशन नहीं था. आई टुक पार्ट इन म्यूजिक कॉम्पिटिशन्स, इन फुटबॉल कॉम्पिटिशन. सो इन सब चीजों में ये सब चीजें अगर आपके सीवी में हैं, और आपका सीवी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपका सीवी नीट लुकिंग होना चाहिए, राइट. सो अगर नीट लुकिंग नहीं होगा तो आपके सीवी में बहुत कुछ चीजें भी हो तो भी इग्नोर हो सकती हैं. So as a first year, what you should do is don't write anything which the employer doesn't expect from a first year. अगर आपने क्या लिखा हुआ है कि you have debate experience and that too in Hindi, don't consider this as a disadvantage. यार, I did not have any debate experience in Hindi, in English, in everything in my first year. So you can write that in your CV, and it's going to be definitely like advantages for you. Okay. Can you mention top IP firms in India? Bro, I have no, I have no expertise in that area, but I think Anand and Anand is a firm which is doing really good. Other law firms you can definitely Google. So things like these. For example, if you ask this question to your senior, you have to ask, you have to think about it. Can you do a quick Google search and find out this by yourself? And if the answer is yes, you don't ask these questions. I'm not saying like anything derogatory here, but yeah. What subjects should one be good at if one is planning to go to corporate world after law competition? Sorry, I did not understand the meaning of law competition. Do you mean after law school? Can you just clarify in the comments? I'll get back to this question. Okay. If one loves law but doesn't want to get in the practice of or job, what alternate career he may pursue? Okay, so you're saying that you don't want to go for a law firm job, or you don't want to litigate per se. There are a lot of jobs other than these two. Yeah, you can try the best, the best job which I personally find. I've never done that job, but I think the most peaceful job is working with an MNC or a company, a big company, in the legal department, because I've seen a lot of my seniors doing that, and I like whenever I've talked to them, I've always gotten a feeling that they have a much calmer life, a much peaceful life. They are back home by 5 o'clock, by 6 o'clock, and they have time for personal things. They have time for their family, which is very important, which is something which lawyers miss out on a lot. So yeah, like apart from that, careers in law is of course आप professor बन सकते हो, आप एक teacher बन सकते हो. That's a very very peaceful job. It gives you a lot of satisfaction. You can do that, or you can आप policy में जा सकते हो. You can go for government jobs which are related to law. You can join the army in the law department. There are a lot of things. So if you do a simple Google search, I'm sure you'll be able to find out. Okay. So Chirag has completed his question. Okay, so which is basically, what subjects should one be good at if one is planning to go to corporate world after law completion? Okay, so I can answer this question because I went to the corporate world after my law completion. I don't have an answer, like a perfect answer to this, but I'll tell you what subjects I specialized in. I specialized in mergers and acquisitions. I took a special summer school course from NUS Singapore and NUJS Kolkata. Then I had specialization, like my like the most interesting subject to me was of course companies law, and that's why I think I could connect with the corporate world a little better. Apart from that, if you can, then you should definitely go for, like, contract law is something which is going to help you in all sectors. Like आप litigation में हो, आप corporate में हो, अगर आपको basics of contracts नहीं पता है तो फिर life might be difficult for you. Okay. हाँ. So I'll take another question which we got before the live session. What is the most well-paying alternate career for quick success? Okay, so everybody wants to know कि वो एक कौन सा दरवाजा है जो खोलते ही मेरे ऊपर सोने की बौछार हो जाएगी. Unfortunately, there is no sector or no quick paying job which you can find if you are already in the law industry and if you want to leave the law industry, right? बहुत लोगों को ये misconception होता है, so let me clear this out, that when you plan to leave the law sector after completing your law graduation, life is not going to be easy for you, right? Life is not going to be like यार अब इसको comfortable एक life मिलेगी. No, it's not like that. If you were working like I was personally working for 12 hours, 14 hours a day in Amarchand Mangaldas for 2 years, approximately 2 years. But now I'm working even sometimes more than that. Like कभी कभार मैं सुबह उठता हूँ 8 बजे and I'm working till 1 or 2 at like in the night. And this is for my startup, right? So life is going to be harder if you leave the law sector, if you leave the sector which you are currently in. But it can definitely be happier. मैं 12 घंटे काम करके अगर लॉ फर्म में खुश नहीं था, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं 15 घंटे काम करके कहीं और हैप्पी नहीं होऊंगा. आई एम हैप्पी राइट नाउ. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट I left what was not giving me happiness, and I am in something which I can totally control, and I can I'm very satisfied in my life when it comes to like my professional background, because I chose to do what I wanted to do and I'm doing what I love. So but that doesn't ever equate to the fact that you were I was like my life was becoming easy. My life is becoming increasingly difficult. Every day I'm putting 1 hour extra or half an hour extra, but it's worth it. That's the that's the beauty of it. Okay, so next question is next question is tell us something about Memo Pandits. Okay, so Memo Pandits is a startup which Rachnendra, who's my law school friend, and I started in 2014 when we were in our 3rd year. Our main intention was to increase the knowledge of students when it comes to mooting. Right now we are India's first mooting school, and we provide trainings, workshops, online courses to law students at a very affordable fee. The whole idea of starting an online course came because I have personally done an online course in my law school, which costed me $8,000, like which I cannot imagine paying right now for an online course. But us time pe I don't know how I gave 8,000 rupees for an online course. I wouldn't take names here. And that course was absolutely pathetic, and the reason why it was so big is because there was no engagement. They used to send us emails with readings, with videos, but in no way I was feeling that I'm learning anything. Like if I wanted, I could have completely ignored all the emails without having anything checked or anything like that. So recently I did a mini MBA program which runs for 3 months with Harvard Business School. So that was completely online, and like the whole intention of creating, like the whole objective of creating the online courses of Memo Pandits is to bring the Harvard learning model to India, which currently no online learning platform is doing. It's going to keep you engaged right from the beginning to the end. The problem which which online course companies don't understand is that the attention span of law students, of any student, is very very less, right? अगर आप देख रहे हो अभी 17 people are online right now. A lot of them would switch right now they would be willing to switch their story. That just shows that हम सबका attention span बहुत कम है, and that's a reality, that's a fact. So you can't deny that. You have to in fact work your way around it. So that's what we are doing at Memo Pandits. We have been teaching students with the intention that सबका attention हम पूरे time grab करके रखें. So whenever you do any workshop or course or an online seminar or webinar or anything with us, with Memo Pandits, one thing which you can be assured about is that you're going to be 100% engaged from the beginning to the end. What is the starting salary at a corporate firm or an IPR firm? Okay, it's a very vague question, but I can understand where you're coming from. I'm guessing that you're in your first or second year, because उस time पे हमें भी ये question होता था दिमाग में. तो it can range from anything which is like I think 30-40,000 a month से लेकर it can be 1,20,000 a month. Like that's usually how much the range of salaries for a fresh graduate is in any law firm. If you go towards tier 1 law firm, your salary is most probably going to be about 1 lakh a month or something like that. Unless you are being deliberately paid more or less because of your law school. That happens, unfortunately that happens. Or because you are in a different department, like there are departments like taxation or sometimes IPR who are not paid at, like departments which are not paid at par in some law firms. So whenever you want to join a law firm, just do a background check through your contacts, through your resources, to find out how much the job is about to pay you. Okay, Vishwas has a question. To be a good criminal lawyer is doing LLM from abroad worth. Okay, where should one start from? By joining some district court or some XYZ law firm? Please see, I am from a non-law background and also from a non-NLU. Okay, good question. सबसे पहले मतलब whoever is watching right now, एक बार ये सोचो खुद कि LLM क्यों होता होगा. What is the main reason behind LLM? The main reason is not so that you can earn more after doing an LLM. The main reason is not so that you can become a better criminal lawyer after doing an LLM. Although I've never done an LLM myself, so I wouldn't consider myself even close to an expert. But what I personally feel is an LLM is something which you want to do if you want to gain expertise in a particular subject area, and if you want to go into the research side of that subject. So for example, if you're really interested in international law as a subject, and tomorrow you want to join the academia, or if you want to join general research organizations dealing with international law, I would personally prefer to do an LLM, because that would strengthen my expertise on that area, and also it gives you a lot of networking opportunities. And that's what is said about all master's degrees, which is basically, it's not just the education which you're paying for, it's the network which you're paying for. When you're doing an LLM, the kind of people who you are going to be surrounded with, the kind of teachers who you're going to be interacting with, that will have a major role in your future. So when you do an LLM, networking is also going to be worth it, right? Okay, so of course, whoever is watching right now, if you guys have any questions related to alternate options in career after you've done your law, after done your law school, you can please ask those questions in the comment section. I'll take a question which we received before the live session. Just a second. Okay, so someone asked how to prepare for CLAT after 10th. First of all, I can't believe that people, students from school are so interested in law schools and the law career that they're asking these questions, because when I was in 10th, I had no idea about law. or about what I was going to do in life. So first of all, congratulations to any student, like any school student who's watching right now. Anyway, so I think the best way to prepare for CLAT is, of course, join a reputed CLAT coaching center. At my time, I joined Career Launcher, which is, I think, a very decent CLAT coaching center. So you can join that, start doing mocks. Like, I think mock tests are the most important part of your preparation, which is something which I didn't do very seriously. Otherwise, I would have been in a better college. But yeah, if you want to hit those top NLUs, please do as many mocks as you can. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple of more questions. Yeah. So one question which we received before the live session was, should you try to change your sector, or should you try to change your job if you are already doing a law firm job, or if you're already a lawyer? And this is something which we as students also think about sometimes. First of all, if you're a law student who's watching right now, if you don't know what you're going to do in your life, you're absolutely a normal student, you're absolutely a normal human being. So मैं जब law school में था, I had absolutely no idea what I was about, what is going to be my calling in life. I had a brief idea that I did not want to be in the law sector for the rest of my life. And when I say the law sector, I meant like law firm job, or in proper litigation. So that's one thing which I knew for sure. But when I got a chance to intern at Amarchand Mangaldas, I knew that if I cracked this internship, if I cracked this job, then I would definitely be well off in terms of finance, which is always a concern for everybody, no matter how rich or how poor you are. Finances are definitely going to play a major role in your life. So that was one of the reasons why I went with my internship, my assessment internship at Amarchand Mangaldas, and I cracked the PPO in my fourth year itself. I'm going to talk about that as well. It might interest us. It might interest a couple of you. So yeah, if you are a law student who does not know what to do right now, it's absolutely fine. What you should be doing is, you should be exploring new opportunities every single time you get a chance. By that I mean, this is a very a general principle which is observed by the biggest businessmen in the world, is that from the age of 20 to till the age of 30, you should change as many jobs as possible. What is the reason for that? You don't have any EMIs to pay, you don't have any installments to pay, you don't have responsibilities, like you most probably don't have responsibilities like a family, like a spouse or children who you need to support. You don't have a settled life as such between the ages of 20 to 30. So between 20 to 30, maximum number of jobs you want to change, you can do without an iota of doubt. That's the best age to do that. I was traveling to a place in Himachal Pradesh, and at night I was traveling solo. So there was a group side mein who was like, that group was talking about mensaria and some res judicata. So I instantly picked up that group had something to do with law. So one of the group members was a partner at Khaitan and Company. And of course, at night when we were talking around the bonfire, I was telling them my story, that I left Amarchand Mangaldas to find my calling and everything. So that guy was 31 or 32. He was a partner, and he was showing disappointment about one particular thing. So I'm guessing that he has everything in life in terms of finance, in terms of a good position in the legal sector. But one thing which he was disappointed about was I can't do a change in my career now because I have a family to support, because I have installments to pay. So before all of those things start happening to you, you can make n number of changes to your jobs, to your profiles. So please never stop exploring if you have the chance to do so. Right. So another question which I'm going to be taking is about pre-placement offers. I got a pre-placement offer when I ended my fourth year, when I was about to when I was about to enter into my fifth year. I got a pre-placement offer in Amarchand Mangal Das. It wasn't easy. It was a very rigorous process, and by rigorous I mean not just the research or drafting or parts like that. It gave me a lot of anxiety because काफी time तक I had not heard from the HR, I had not heard from the team about any chances of me getting in. In fact, at one point of time, I remember the HR told me that there are no vacancies anymore. So and that really disappointed me a lot. But I kept trying. Every other day I used to call my senior from Amarchand Mangalas. I used to text them, and I used to follow up about my pre-placement offer. Before I got the interview opportunity, or before I got the chance to even be considered for the job, I had to intern twice at Amarchand Mangal Das. The total amount of the total time of the internship was more than 12 weeks. That's how much I think one needs to give in case you want the employer to find out if you are an eligible employee for them or not. Okay, so we have some more questions. Can I prepare for CS along with my law course? Will it be fruitful for me? Of course you can. In fact, I know a senior of mine from law school who completed CS during law school. Another batchmate of mine, I think, completed CS. So CS is an option which is taken by a lot of law students and lawyers because it's a complementing career. If you have like accounting skills, if you have the skills which a CS has, you are going to be a better employee for any company or any law firm or any senior, right? Because accounting एक ऐसी चीज है जो आपको अगर आती है तो आप बेटर ऑफ हो किसी भी और से जिसको नहीं आती, राइट? ओके, सो yeah, again, to whoever has joined right now, if you have any questions related to the topic of the webinar, please post that question as a comment and I'll try my best to answer it. In the meantime, I'm going to be taking a couple of questions which I got before the live session. Okay, so the question is, what are the initial hurdles and expenses in establishing a credible legal service company and how to determine its earning potential and profitability? Good question. In fact, one of my friends from law school who has completed 4 years of job at a law firm as a litigation lawyer, he has started his own company. He's doing work as an independent lawyer. So I think a couple of things which you need to keep in mind when you want to establish a credible legal service company, one of them is of course clients. Without clients, your company is a shell company. Your company is nothing but something which is not going to give you any profit or anything in the future. So first of all, you need clients. Now by clients I don't mean कि जिस job में आप हो कि उस company के आप clients चुरा लो. Of course you have to look at your contract if there is a non-solicitation clause, if there's a non-compete clause, and accordingly you can approach the clients, your existing clients. First of all, it's clients. Second is you need to find partners. It's going to be better if you do any startup anywhere if you have a co-founder with you. That's something which I've learned through experiences, through my startups. I've done about 4 to 5 startups till now, and जिस startup में मेरे पास co-founder नहीं था, I've had a very difficult time in doing things, in brainstorming. So if you have a partner with you to partner in your legal services company, it's going to be better for you. Okay, so we have 2 questions. We are about to close the live session in about 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section. No, sir, I will be giving my CLAT this year. If I don't get into NLU, should I drop or join a private college? I am from a non-law background. Very good question, Sukriti. I'm going to get back to you. Just a second. I was from a non-law background, and the first time I gave any competitive exam was my NLU Delhi exam. And because I used to live around Delhi, मैंने ये सोच रखा था कि यार मेरा हो जाएगा तो सही है, अच्छा है, मतलब घर के पास होगा, it's going to be good. And I was very overconfident for some reason. I have no clue why I was so overconfident about the competitive exam. Maybe because I never gave a lot of mock tests. So first of all, if you're about to give CLAT this year, please make sure that you're giving a lot of mock tests so that you have a feel of how the actual exam is going to be. Okay, so I was from a non-law background, and when I failed my first competitive exam, which was the NLU Delhi exam, I felt really bad. Then I had no time to prepare for CLAT, and my CLAT was absolutely pathetic. Matlab, I think anybody who is who gave CLAT in 2011 knows about this, that there was some kind of a mishap in the CLAT's English section. It was unusually long, and when I had only 10 minutes left for the exam, my entire English section was awaiting. So of course I did not get through anywhere in CLAT, and the only hope I had was from NLU Odisha's exam, which used to be a standalone exam at that time. So I gave that exam, and I remember it was a 2.5 hour exam, and I came in half an hour late because I was giving another exam, which was IP Amity exam. So somehow I passed through the 3rd waiting list of NLU Odisha. एंड उस टाइम पे तो इतना मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि NLUs जो होते हैं ये थोड़े प्रेस्टिजियस होते हैं, या नॉन NLU से होने का कोई डिसएडवांटेज भी है या नहीं है. सो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज I was not sure if I was going to get into any NLU. So what, like, because your question is, if I don't get into NLU, should I drop or join a private college? Trust me, if you're getting a private college jahan pe the faculty is good, the alumni is great, don't go for the NLU tag just because you did not get into an NLU. A couple of colleges which which I personally think, because their alumni is so fantastic, I've worked with them, I'm friends with a lot of their alumni. One of them is Jindal. The fee is very high, but if you can afford it, then definitely it's a very good college. Then Symbiosis is also a good college, and there are a couple of more colleges like these which you can do your own, like a couple of do your research before joining, or thinking about joining any of the NLUs. Okay, so the next question is, sir, I'm a little bit confused if I should do CS or not, because I am very much sure that I'll be doing judiciary. So in your opinion, should I do CS or not? इस क्वेश्चन में ही आंसर छुपा हुआ है. अगर आपको पता है कि आप जुडिशरी करने जा रहे हो, सो आप अपने रिसोर्सेज, आप अपना टाइम, आप अपना एफर्ट जुडिशरी पे क्यों अभी से नहीं लगा रहे हो? व्हाई डू यू वांट टू डिवोट इट टू सीएस? कोई भी आप चीज कर रहे हो जिंदगी में, फर्स्ट आस्क योरसेल्फ, व्हाई डू यू वांट टू डू दैट? व्हाई डू यू वांट टू डू सीएस? कैन यू like do you have a reasonable explanation, or is it just because मेरे बाकी आसपास लोग जितने दोस्त हैं वो भी ये बोल रहे हैं कि CS कर लेना चाहिए या फिर CS अच्छा होता है? तुम्हारे आसपास लोग क्या बोलते हैं उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, तुम अपने आप से पूछो कि तुम्हें क्या करना है. सो इफ ऑफ कोर्स यू सेड दैट यू आर वेरी मच श्योर दैट यू विल बी डूइंग जुडिशरी, अभी से ट्राई करने लग जाओ जुडिशरी. बिकॉज अगर तुम्हें लग रहा है कि तुम्हारा जुडिशरी में हो जाएगा आराम से, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल काफी डिफिकल्ट होता है जुडिशरी में होना. और अगर तुम्हें करना ही है जुडिशरी, एम फॉर द बेस्ट, एम फॉर द यू नो, मुझे जितना पता है, अगेन आई एम नो एक्सपर्ट, बट आई थिंक द दिल्ली जुडिशरी एग्जाम इज द टफेस्ट. एंड अगर आपको दिल्ली में पोस्टिंग मिलती है, it's considered very respectful also. So I would personally say अगर आपको जुडिशरी करनी है, so aim for that instead of devoting your time and energy to doing something जिसके लिए आपके पास कोई रीजन नहीं है कि मुझे CS करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. There is no reason why you should do CS. There is all the more reason that you should devote your time in judiciary right from now, right? Okay, I think we are about to end the live session. If you have some last questions, then please post the question in the comment box. I will be happy to answer your questions. A little bit about to the people who have joined right now. If you're a law student, if you are if you want to do something productive during the lockdown, during this time, please head over to Memo Pundits, which is my startup. We offer online courses on moot courts. It's not just going to help you in moot courts. In fact, it's going to help you in projects. It's going to help you in research papers. Even when you submit any legal document to your senior during internship, you need 3 basic skills: research, drafting and formatting. अगर आपकी रिसर्च और ड्राफ्टिंग बहुत अच्छी है और आपका जो पूरा का पूरा मेमो है या पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट है वो बहुत गंदी तरीके से फॉर्मेटेड है, योर सीनियर विल नेवर हैव अ गुड इंप्रेशन ऑफ यू. सो ये तीनों चीजें हैंड इन हैंड जाती हैं. अगर आपको इन तीनों चीजों के बारे में सीखना है, प्लीज टेक अप अ फ्यू कोर्सेज फ्रॉम माय स्टार्टअप व्हिच इज मेमो पंडित्स. I think it's time to end the live session. If there is anybody who would like to ask me any other question, please you can DM to Memo Pundits your question. You can DM to Memo Pundits, or you can reach out to my personal Instagram handle also, which is Anant Gupta 93. Right? Okay, thank you so much everyone. Sukriti, I will not be able to answer your question. I won't be able to answer your questions, very sorry. Thank you everyone. Thank you Desi Kanun for giving me this opportunity, and I would be very happy to take any questions which any students have right now on my personal DM or through Memo Pundits. Right? Thank you so much everybody. Have a good day and be productive during the lockdown.